Hello and welcome back to the My Xbox and Me YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. I'm MC Fixer. Person to my right, maybe your left, I don't know how YouTube works, is the one and only Matt P Video. Matt, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well indeed, mate. Very well indeed. How are you?
Good. I'm fantastic. I have just come back from playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. So
I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all.
So I thought we would have a sit down, have a little chat, and you can pick my brain at everything that I got to enjoy and you didn't get to enjoy about the game.
Yeah, rub it in. Thanks, mate.
I mean, that's what I do, mate. That's what I do. Again, thank you to Square Enix for inviting me to their studio to check out the game. I got to play it for about an hour and a half of gameplay, and I'll leave it there, Matt, and just let you sort of ask away anything you want to know. As the biggest Guardians fan, after it being shown in my Xbox and Me, I thought it was only right for you to ask the questions. So hit me. All of your do's, don'ts, excitements. What is the first question to come out of that pretty mouth of yours, eh?
First thing I want to know about is the story. You said you played an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Do you know where you jumped into the game? Were you like halfway in? Were you right at the start? What's going on?
So I wasn't at the start. I was a few chapters in. What I will say off the bat is I was extremely blown away by what I got to see story-wise.
That excites me.
I'll be honest, as you know, I'm excited. I was excited for the game, but nowhere near the same excitement levels as you.
Yeah.
And I just thought we've had a lot of Guardians as of lately. When it comes to Marvel, we have had a hell of a lot of Guardians. They went from a bunch of characters that I personally had never heard of, as I'm not a comic book fan, to then having them in literally everything. We've had the Telltale games. We've had everything, right? And I was like, it's been done. I was so wrong. I was so wrong, dude. Literally, from the moment this preview started, I was just in. I was encapsulated with, oh, this is happening. Oh, that's happening. This character here, that character there. I got to like go around the ship, obviously, and that was like my favorite part of this whole preview. Was literally going around the ship and just talking to each of the characters and getting to know them better, getting to know the things they don't like, getting to know the things they do like, prying in a little bit more, which again, the game has like different choices of what to ask and what not to ask. And I wasn't expecting it to be, it's very well written from what I got to see. The voice acting in it is phenomenal as well. The big critique was always, I think, from most people and myself included, I wasn't too sure about the look of each character, right? It was that this doesn't fit for me. Something's a little bit off here. And then when you actually play it, number one, it's a beautiful game, but it fits perfectly. The voice actors do a fantastic job, again, from what I got to play and experience. And there's so many funny moments. So many funny moments, like literally laugh out loud moments. It's really my humor. It really is. But I was really blown away by the story, dude.
Good. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been feeling that, right? With like all the Marvel games that have been coming out, and people are so used to seeing the MCU in the mainstream now. The look of different characters now, I think people are getting more and more used to, right? We're used to seeing a different Spider-Man, even if they want to switch it from PS4 to PS5, the way the Spider-Man looks like. People are used to that kind of transition now. And so are these characters then, do they feel really different to the like sort of Guardians we know from the MCU? Like, do they feel unique, or is it like, oh, this is like classic Star-Lord? I can imagine Chris Pratt saying this in the next movie or whatever.
I think it's a bit of both, which probably sounds a little bit silly, but it's a case of it's familiar enough that it doesn't feel uncomfortable to me, but it's different enough that it's got me on the edge of my seat wanting to know more. Again, like I said, I am not the comic book guy, so I don't know all this deep lore and the deep stories that happens within this universe and this world. And video games are my favorite medium to experience storytelling. So being able to get to experience this game and explore this lore and the story they're telling, I was proper nerding out. I was like, oh my god, I wanna know more, and I wanna know more about the backstory. And that's kind of what what really surprised me was a case of like, there's this one moment I'm walking around and I touch an item, and I thought I was just touching an item, and then boom, there's Gamora. She's behind me. She's like, "Why the hell are you touching my stuff?" And I'm like, and then it like puts you on the back foot of like, "Oh, I wasn't," and it's like, "Oh, I got you a gift," or "Oh, I got you this," or you play it out however it is you're gonna decide to play it out. But for me, it was, "Oh, that's really cool," because I just thought I was interacting with an item that had no significance at all in this little world that I'm walking around. I'm touching everything. I'm trying to get as much out of this preview as I can, right? So I'm pretty sure I went on a lot longer than everybody else, because I'm just literally walking around like picking up everything. But I was just shocked to be like, oh, you're right. This is your bedroom. Why would I be in your bedroom? And you would come over and be like, what the hell are you doing in my bedroom? There was that moment with Gamora. There's another moment that happened with Rocket Raccoon where I touch one of his tools and he's like, "Just get out of my goddamn way!" Like, you are in my way. I'm in the middle of doing things. Like, move. And that was kind of amazing for me because it felt very real and it felt very natural. It didn't feel like an item that was placed specifically here for you to go over to, and then Rocket to come over and be like, "Move out my way." No, Rocket was already there working, so I was in his way. Like, it was my fault. I was in his way, and it just felt very natural. And I think that's kind of the key from all of the storytelling that I got to see from the game. It felt very natural. It felt very smooth. It felt very real, and it was so good, so good.
Checking. Same designation as before. It's definitely Hal's Hope.
Awesome. So I want to know then, when you get out of the ship and you're into sort of the main body of the game, I guess, how do those decisions translate, right? Do you really feel like you're making an impact and making decisions that were going to change the next bit of the gameplay? Or is it kind of like, oh, we're going down the same path, I can just choose to say it in 3 different ways, but the end result is the same?
Yeah, probably a little bit early for me to be able to say truthfully. I think it would be unfair. My decisions in which I made, I didn't feel like they had like this big character arc of like, I shouldn't have said that to Rocket, or I shouldn't have said that to Drax. Like, that didn't happen in this preview. I didn't feel that if it was there, if it was supposed to be there at all. It was more just a case of we're walking into wherever it is we're going into. Again, I don't want to get too spoilery either. So hence why I might be a little bit vague with names of things and places that we go, just because why spoil it for you? I can explain what this game is and how I feel about it without diving in deep into what you're actually going to get to play if you're a huge Marvel fan, right? But yeah, obviously there's this one moment we enter this building, walking down this corridor, and then like everyone sort of stood still to go into the next door, and you can go and speak to each of the characters, and they're all giving you their opinion on something you're about to go and take part in. And I thought that was really cool because they don't agree, which is obviously what the Guardians are. They don't agree.
Exactly.
They don't all have the same principles in life. Some of them are only about the money, and for them to be able to portray that, and don't get me wrong, I expect them to portray it, but it's how it's portrayed that really shocked me, in a way of like me actually caring. What Rocket is upset with me because I've made a decision, or we are doing this thing, and I'm upset at myself for that. So I find myself, as you're traversing through the rest of the world, a dialogue choice will come up of like, let's say like Gamora and Rocket are having an argument at a time. It's like, who do you side with? And I'm like, well, I did side with Gamora on this thing, so maybe I should side with Rocket on this one. And it really does have you feeling like, I really just want all my friends to be happy. So if I give him a win here and I don't give her a win there, it's okay. And then obviously the other characters getting annoyed because like, you always side with them and whatever is going on. But yeah, it goes a bit further than just, it's not just a case of, we're in this hub world and this is where we do the talking. It's very much, when you're in your gameplay, the characters are talking to each other constantly, and you're having to make decisions in terms of its dialogue, and that's kind of where the fun of the game for me really, really was. It wasn't running around, jumping, shooting, flying, and all of that. It was these moments I got to have with each of the characters to learn a little bit more about them and what they're going through on a normal level and their disagreements.
I found this.
Sector 1, check in. Sector 1, sweep complete. 75% acceptance rate. It is as she promised. Have faith. The promise will be made real.
Moving off then, more onto gameplay then.
Okay.
So it's not open world, right? It's a relatively linear. We're jumping between levels, I'm guessing, that are relatively linear.
Yeah. I only got to play the one level, which was, so I got like the hub ship that we were on, and then the one level I got to try out. Yeah, it's very linear, but that's kind of exactly what I want from this game. I didn't realize it until I sat down, but I was like, oh, yeah, this is a linear game. This is going to be story beat to story beat to story beat to story beat. And that's something we don't really get anymore. Every game nowadays very much feels like open world and big explosion here and big explosion there and go and grind for 1,000,000 hours to get your level piece of gear. And like, this isn't that. This is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the story they want to tell, with you being able to have your input on that story and tell it in your own way. But yeah, it's very, very, very linear, yes. And I love that about the game personally.
100%. And then onto the combat, I guess. There's going to be a major point of this, and I think it's the one thing that everybody has seen in the trailers, or let me speak for myself. One thing I've seen in the trailers that I've kind of gone, does that look massively fun, right? You're Star-Lord and you're kind of commanding the others as you're fighting. How was it, moment to moment? How's the combat?
Really good. I really liked it.
Happy days.
I can see why watching it doesn't look as fun watching as it does playing for me. I was very much the same as you, where it was a case of, oh, do I really want to have to command these group of characters? I'd rather play these characters. And I started off with a bunch of skill points because we was already further on in the story. So I was able to like equip each of my characters with their ability points, so they all had something different that they could do. I think at first I was a little bit apprehensive about even using them because I forgot about them, because they're still attacking, they're still fighting, whether you command them or you're not, right?
Sure.
But once I got the hang of, I need to, we've got this boss fight that's just come up, or a mini boss fight that's just come up with a big shield guy. Okay, what do I do here? Oh, I know what to do. Groot, you use your ability, which is then gonna make him be like stuck by the tree branches, and then Drax, you're gonna jump over there and you're gonna do your skill move, and it all just comes together quite well and very fluidly. I never felt, the moments were never taking me out of the game. And I think that was the important part for me that I was scared of, which was, so you're holding RB, I played on Xbox, by the way, holding RB to select the character, then you can push RB again. So it might be press RB, then hold RB to get your actual abilities all come up, whether you have equipped on the character. But it all happens very fluidly. It's very slick. It's very easy. It's not, all right, now I'm going to push RB and then we're going to wait and go, oh, who should I pick? And I'm sure it can be like that, but I picked it up very easily of like, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. Everything's happening so quickly. You're just like, attack everything. Like, go. Like, we are the Guardians. Like, get out there and fight these people, fight these bad guys and destroy them to the best of our ability as quick as humanly possible. But yeah, the actual gameplay from Star-Lord himself, they have obviously his guns, which he's got like a normal ammo type, and within that normal ammo type, when you reload that gun, I don't know if it was an ability that was on already or if it's just this is what happens in the base of the guns. They have an active reload. And
love it.
I love active reload. I'm a huge Gears fan, as most people know if you listen to anything that I've done. So having that active reload, I didn't realize at first So I'm shooting, and then it's reloading, and I see this little bar come down and it's like this little green bit, and I've missed it. I'm like, oh, god damn it. And then I just play again to do it, and I see it again, I'm like, wait, is that an active reload? And I click it, and it like makes a noise, everything's going on, and you're like, oh, it is, and you just, okay, cool, boop, 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 boop. Active reload, switch to my, I had like an ice, what's the word, ammo element type. So I'm like freezing people, then I'm shooting them with this, and I'm using my melee attack, and then I'm using my dodge attack to get behind them, and it feels very arcadey. Like, that is the feel of the game to me. Very, very, very arcadey, but very fun and very enjoyable. Now, only time will tell if there is enough unlocks and enough abilities to want me to get from start to finish, and that to feel fresh throughout the whole experience. But playing it for an hour and a bit and getting to run around and fly around and shoot, it felt really fun and very, very, very easy to pick up. But I'm sure if you put it on the harder difficulty, I was playing on normal, if you played it on a harder difficulty, maybe it would be, okay, I need Drax focused on this guy, I need Gamora focused on this type, I need to make sure I've got the right ammo types and elemental bullets and stuff like that for each of the types. And I didn't find it hard at all. I died once just because of a certain part of the game where you're shooting off certain things as the other Guardians are trying to protect you, and I couldn't find it. I just couldn't find where the last one was, so I accidentally died. But yeah, man, I really had a really, really, really good time with the game, and it was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. There's so much that took me by surprise, because I went in with pretty low expectations, but coming out of it, I'm like, oh yeah, I need more. And I can't wait to experience the story and really get to know these characters a lot, yeah.
Awesome. One thing I want to just quickly go back to, you mentioned it briefly. You mentioned that like each character levels up, right?
Yes.
And so are you unlocking new skills or new abilities for each character as you're leveling them up? Is there some sort of skill tree? Did you get a look at any of that? How does that work?
Yeah, so what it is your character you're playing through, and then at the end of like each fight, let's say, like you'll see like an ability bar will sort of, a leveling bar will sort of level up, and what happens is each character has a certain amount of has each of their abilities, which I got to see them all, but I didn't have enough ability points to actually check them all out. So what you do is you'll level up, you'll get ability points, so you'll start putting it into whoever you want to. So of all of the characters that's all of them have their own unique ability types. So you're leveling up through playing the game. That's what it is. And then it's down to you to pick where you want to put each of the ability points.
So could you theoretically stack all of your ability points into Groot and leave everybody else kind of? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you could. I've pretty much used all of mine on me, so on Peter Quill. And then like when I had a few extras, like, oh, I guess Gamora can have an ability, because why not? But yeah, it goes a lot more in depth though, because you've got like your ability points, and then the game has crafting. So there is a whole crafting mechanic with the different valuation types of like higher grade materials and lower grade materials. And it just I was picking up plenty of those. I was exploring the map and finding them in each corners and things, video game stuff that you expect. But I love that about this, because there's nothing worse in a game when you go around a corner or you don't jump down instantly and you check around a corner and you're not rewarded for it. And this, just having those crafting parts being there, they're credits, by the way. So it's the higher end credits and then just normal credits.
Right. And what are you using? What are you spending those on? There's no like loot system, is there, or is there?
No loot system. No. It's just. So you're crafting, you're actually crafting, what was it I crafted? I crafted an ability, I believe, that I could then attach onto my gun. And then there was there was one that
like a
was,
mod.
for instance, exactly, like a mod.
Yeah.
There was one, for instance, that was like, items will float towards you in a 15-meter radius. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Again, I was so focused on the story and the gameplay that I wasn't really like, all right, abilities and crafting.
That's good,
like,
man. That's what I want to hear.
That wasn't what I was like really looking at. I was looking at damn, this story is good. Damn, this graphically looks really nice, and this runs smooth, and the voice acting's really good, and like that, all that stuff took me so by surprise in such a good way that other things, like there are outfits in the games, and I didn't even think about, there being other costumes. I don't know how you unlock them. I will say that, but I know that I looked in the menu and I did have a couple of different outfits I could have equipped for each of the characters.
Oh, cool. Fantastic stuff. Well, I think that's it. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you feel is worth highlighting?
Let me have a look at my notes. No, we pretty much hit everything that I liked. The only thing we didn't touch on is the music. If you are into your music, and this game has a banging soundtrack, absolute banger of a soundtrack. I feel bad for myself as a streamer who will probably stream this game and never get to hear any of this good music in the game. But if you're just a normal person who doesn't stream or make content, you are in for a treat. Like, even when you're on the ship, you can go up and turn the music on as you're walking around, and they have a ton of licensed music in there. All the bangers you expect to be there are there. They are there, and that's such a pivotal part, right, of Guardians and the story they tell.
100%.
And I'm glad that, in a way, they got to have all this licensed music, and in the other way, I'm kind of upset because I'm not going to get to experience it. But, that's life. Life of a content creator.
Is there like a content creation mode that's going to toggle that off for you?
I believe
really?
So, yeah. They had it. I'm pretty sure. I didn't ask while I was there. That was something I actually forgot to bring up. But I'm pretty sure they said there's going to be a streamer mode. So they have some version of free to use music in the game. But obviously, it's not going to be the classics. It's not going to be
quite the same.
No, it's not. It's not. The only other thing that I will say. We always talk about, I think, humor in video games, right? It's something that we don't get many games that make us laugh. A lot of it's serious. It's a lot of shooting. It's a lot of deep stories headed in not a humorous way. I think South Park: The Stick of Truth is one of the only games that I put really up there as like a comedy game. I really do want to drum home that this game made me laugh a lot. Like, there was so much banter between the characters. And again, I'm sure that is going to be an opinion that I have maybe just for myself, because I enjoy the jokes that landed. I didn't think they were overly cheesy. I thought what Drax was saying in the way he said it was just perfect timing comedy-wise. And I really want to hit home on that. No, everything else I think we hit. You're going to hear the word flark a lot. What the flark? You're gonna hear that a lot out of
That's
Rocket.
A decision.
That you're gonna hear that a lot. So man, I really enjoyed it. I hope this little conversation that we've had here over on My Xbox and Me has helped you guys in maybe getting a little bit more excited for the game. If you want to ask us any questions, let me know in the YouTube comments below. We will answer them on our weekly Xbox podcast, My Xbox and Me, which you can watch right here or on podcast services. Matt, thank you for joining me, and until next time, we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Goodbye.